Hey you gentle cuties, Marc here. I'm back. I've got songs recorded, I've got music videos shot, I've got an entire project complete, and I'm finally ready to put it all out into the world. But first, I wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about where I've been and what I've been up to the last 4 years. In the spring of 2016, music was seemingly going pretty well. I had a song called Lamborghini Tears that was getting some real traction, but at the same time, that traction created an incredible, immense amount of pressure. For 7 years, making music had been my outlet, and now it somehow felt like a chore. I was exhausted. I was dejected. I was looking for an out. I found that out in the game of poker. I'd been playing socially with friends since high school, but had picked it back up that spring, and I was obsessed. Whenever I grew frustrated with writing, which seemed to be happening at an increasingly high frequency, I would turn to poker. Ironically, just as I started to push music to the back burner, I was getting calls from record labels who were interested in what I was doing. Now, it'd be more likely for Ted Cruz to put gender pronouns in his Twitter bio than for me to ever sign with a label, but I saw an opportunity. I was struggling to write for myself, but maybe I could write for others. I parlayed the label interest into a full slate of songwriting sessions with artists and producers, and with a push from a couple friends, I made the move out to LA that summer. I was thrilled to get a fresh start with writing, but truthfully, what I was most excited about was the poker. I'd heard the games in Los Angeles were the best in the country, and I couldn't wait to find out for myself. I'd worked countless shitty part-time jobs, pushed copious amounts of weed, and once sold a video of myself cutting my toenails on Twitter for $300. At a time when I was deeply questioning whether music would ever be able to pay the bills, poker started to do just that. My first week in LA playing poker, I made more than my previous year's salary as a school bus driver. The return on investment was immediate and the results were tangible. Meanwhile, the songwriting sessions weren't going great. I've always created alone. I'd grown accustomed to writing, recording, and mixing myself in a room by myself. And now I was being thrown into sessions with 2, 3, 4, 8 other people and told, go. It felt like trying to pee with an entire audience watching. To make things worse, these other songwriters would hop in the booth and shit out entire songs with magical melodies in like 11 minutes. I sat in silence occasionally, suggesting some haphazard tweak just to seem like I was contributing. Honestly, I felt like a D3 college basketball player thrust into a starting role with the Denver Nuggets. It was obvious I was in over my head. I was starting to think, maybe this shit just wasn't for me. I took a step back from the songwriting sessions and started writing for myself again, determined to give it one last shot. I knocked out a string of songs I honestly truly felt were the best music I'd ever made. I believed I'd found my voice, not just lyrically, but sonically as well. I released a few of them into the world, and none came close to matching the numbers or the reception of my older music. It hit me way harder than I was willing to admit. I never made a conscious decision to stop making music, but poker was going well and the money kept rolling in as I climbed the stakes. And over time, 6 days a week writing became 4, and then 2, and then one day I sat down to write the best man speech for my brother's wedding and realized I hadn't written a thing in over a year. Poker was going extremely well financially, but I'd become a pretty miserable person. I'd leave the casino like $8,000 richer and somehow still be pissed off. And when I lost, I went through my first extended downswing in 2018, and I was at an all-time low. I vividly remember driving home one night, doing over 100 miles per hour, and closing my eyes while flooring the gas. Tears were pouring out of my eyes. I was just absolutely fucking defeated. But no matter how frustrated I grew with poker, I refused to quit like I had with music. I was determined to come out the other side, to prove to myself that I could actually not give up on something for once in my life. I doubled down on poker and started playing 12 hours a day, every day, until I finally came out the other side and started making money again. It took coming out of that downswing for me to look in the mirror and start getting my shit together. I began going to therapy. My therapist told me once she believed most people have a thing they intrinsically know they're supposed to be doing, and they're always going to be unhappy if they ignore that feeling. She said she knew my thing from our very first session. So I've been writing again. I've got songs on songs on songs, shit. I've got a whole album done. I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared because the songs are my little babies, and as soon as you release your little babies into the world, they're no longer only yours. But I'm ready, or at least I think I'm ready. I'd always frame music as a climb to the top of some imaginary mountain, that I'd be happy once I have a song that does this amount of streams, or when I have a video that has this amount of hits, or when I play a show that has this amount of fans. The goalposts were constantly shifting, and the higher I climbed that mountain, the further away the peak seemed to get. But poker's less subjective. I climbed the mountain. I hit the peak. I damn near scaled Everest, and yet I still woke up every day feeling like something was missing, that there was this incessant voice telling me there was something I was supposed to be doing, and I just kept pushing it away. I'm still playing poker. These days I'm playing the highest stakes games I can find, but music, it's my thing. It's always been my thing. So this time, as cliche as it sounds, I'm trying to enjoy the journey rather than focused on the destination, to take solace in the everyday process. I'm trying not to over-quantify everything. I've got poker for that. So I'm back. I hope you guys enjoy the music even half as much as I did creating it. Thank you, and I'll see you guys soon.
I've been doing everything except what I'm supposed to. Promise if it didn't work, I would be home soon. Let's be honest, you were hoping I'd be home soon. Now I'm in a session with some motherfucker who just wrote a hook in 6 seconds. Yeah, we love what you've been doing, so impressive. This is what you do, right? Write some hit records. Miss when it was just me, you don't be impressed. Yeah. Old rappers never die, we simply fade away.